Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez. Just a reminder that full-length board and committee meetings, special events, and every episode of every show we air here on Channel 18 are available to watch online. You can find it all in the town's video archives at town.barnstable.ma.us. If you were in the market for a new futon a few years ago, one of the places you might have visited is the building at 181 North Street in Hyannis, which used to house a furniture store. But yesterday, the building was officially reborn as the first new-look Health and Human Services Center in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The office space houses several different state-funded social service agencies that used to be spread throughout town. The goal is to give clients more convenient access to these services while saving money for the state. That's according to Health and Human Services Secretary Judy Ann Bigby, who spoke at yesterday's ribbon cutting.
As Andy said, we're here to celebrate the opening of the first HHS Center, which represents our philosophy that, especially in these times, we want to make sure that we have every dollar possible to spend on programs that serve people. And by bringing people together in this building, not only do we make sure that we are using our money to serve people, but we're bringing people together so that we can do it more efficiently. So this is very exciting to me. I want to thank all of the commissioners who made the trip down from Boston to be here today. I also want to thank John Klim, who's the Barnstable town manager, and Tom Lynch, who's the assistant town manager, and also, as Andy has pointed out, Paul Bishens from the William Street Corporation, who's the owner of the property and helped us make our vision a reality. I also want to thank many of you who have worked, as I said, to make this idea about having HHS centers across the state come true. This is the first one we're opening, and we've learned a lot, and we'll use what we learned here to make sure our other centers are implemented in the best way possible. I also want to thank all of the staff who are now here in this building together, first and foremost for the work you do every day to serve the people who we are committed to serving, providing the highest quality, best service possible. But I also want to thank you for being the first to participate in an HHS center. It is your commitment to making sure that this works so that you can do the best job that you can do, that we're serving the people that you care so much about in the best way possible, that made this all possible. So thank you for being guinea pigs in one sense, but I hope that you will continue to share with us what you're learning every day. I've already heard stories about people from different agencies who are working together to serve families, and things that might have taken weeks before happen in a day because people run into each other and are able to share information face to face in a way that they were never able to do before. These centers are designed to accomplish just that, to make it easier for families also to work with staff across many different departments. One of the biggest complaints we hear about our services is that people often have to interact with 3 or 4 or 5 different agencies who have different plans for how they get those services, and that we don't do enough collaboration and talking to each other. By being in a center like this, we hope to facilitate that, and also to make it easier for individuals who need services to get those services by cutting out transportation that right now is very expensive for families. I do want to mention, however, that we know that this is a most cost-effective way to deliver these services. We know that very soon, probably tomorrow, the Massachusetts Taxpayers Foundation is going to release a report about their views about how the Executive Office of Health and Human Services can more efficiently serve people by co-locating and bringing our facilities together. As I said, we want to, especially in these very challenging times, spend every dollar that we can on programs and services for people by co-locating these offices in our administrative staff and bringing together direct service workers in one location. We are freeing up some dollars to avoid bigger cuts in these challenging times. We plan to open 18 more HHS centers over the next 4 years. Our current plan involves co-locating 57 currently separate field offices into 19 centers. As we are developing additional HHS centers, we will continue to live up to the high standards that this process for this center exemplifies in our many offices as we move on to co-locate offices in Framingham and Holyoke and all across the state.
So, how did our town get chosen to house the first of these consolidated service centers? Well, I had the chance to ask Secretary Bigby just that after the ceremony. Why Hyannis for the first Health and Human Services Center in the Commonwealth?
Well, the way that we are organizing these centers, we have lease obligations in our current locations, and as leases are coming up, we're coordinating how we pursue whether to stay in an existing space or move. So these 5 agencies had leases that were coming up at the same time. They were all here in Hyannis in separate buildings and separate locations. So rather than have them just go out and do their leases individually, we brought them all together and looked for space that could accommodate them, and here we are.
So if people are looking for the human service organizations that they would usually go visit elsewhere in town, what can people find here?
So when they come into this space, what they'll find is somebody will greet them, ask what kind of service they need or what agency they're here to see. Mm-hmm. Somebody from that agency will greet them and meet them in a private interview room.
Okay.
And conduct their business. If they need to see another agency, they stay put, and the agency comes to them to continue whatever work needs to be done.
Certainly you hear a lot at the state level about consolidating different types of organizations. Economic development organizations have been talked a lot about in terms of consolidation. Obviously, it seems like a lot of departments across state government are headed in this direction in order probably to save money, right?
It is a way to save money for sure. I think that we need to recognize a couple of things. Number one, we know that having multiple agencies who are involved with some of these families makes it very difficult to coordinate services, and it's frustrating to them sometimes, and we know that we can achieve better outcomes if we can work together. By putting workers together, even if they're from different agencies, it increases their ability to collaborate in taking care of families. The other thing is that, times are changing. Many workers are out on the road a lot. There's telecommuting. There are other types of ways that people are doing their work rather than sitting in an office
Sure.
and having a client come in. So we don't necessarily need as much space as has been leased in the past. So we want to make sure, as I said, that every dollar we have, as much of that as possible, can be spent on direct services and programs to people and not on buildings.
Board and committee meetings have finished up for the week, so that's all we have for now. I'm Nick Cortez, and we'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.